Good morning and happy Friday, everyone. Good morning. Oh my gosh, I am so excited for the weekend. I have really no major plans other than, you know what, just hanging out for the weekend. And I'm really excited to be doing that. And oh gosh, and today is Friday. I usually do like a Q&A kind of Friday where I come and I just have a bunch of questions already, like what people have asked. But today I thought we would do our live just a little bit different. And what we're going to do is we're just going to hang out and have coffee together and talk about life. And if you have something you want to talk about, we'll talk about it. And if you want to have any questions that you have for me, I'll answer them. And so I just kind of wanted this just to be, again, kind of like a bunch of gals, and if you're a guy, but just hanging out and having coffee and talking about life for an hour. So we have Tiggy, Linda, and Lauren. Hello. So, gosh. Oh, so I am still reeling from yesterday's live and that whole video about things you can't wear. I did do my short showing me in that mini dress because I thought it was funny because it's like, don't tell me I can't show skin. I can show lots of skin. You might not want to see it, but I can definitely show it. So I thought that was really cute. And then when I was getting dressed, I was like, oh, this is a little bit of a scoop neck. I mean, is this going to be appropriate? Kind of thing. And then I'm like, oh, well, my sleeves are kind of calf sleeves. You can see more of my arm than what is, socially acceptable. Is it going to be okay? And then let me show you my skirt because I picked out my skirt purposely on this. But I have on this cute animal print skirt because I figured, they wouldn't like animal print either. And then look at these cute Converse high tops. So I figure, oh my gosh, what would they think about Converse high tops? And then what would they think about this outfit altogether? So I just thought it was kind of funny because, you know what, why not? And I wanted to wear my Converse high tops because my ankle, Indy tripped me on my walk the other day, and I wanted to give my ankle and my foot a little bit more of a, I guess, secure kind of. I'm using it almost as like a little Ace Band-Aid brace kind of thing. And then my knee still hurts, and I lost skin on my knee. So I don't want to wear pants and I don't want to put a Band-Aid on. So I picked my skirt. So there you go. That's how I picked out my outfit for today. So I had a little bit of a makeup faux pas this morning, and I'm constantly changing the way I do my makeup. I have a lot of really cool makeup routines that I love that I stick with, and time again, they work perfectly. But I'm always about I just don't want to do the same thing over and over and over again. So I like to try new things. And one of the things that I tried was my lipstick. And I got this Super Stay vinyl ink from Maybelline. And the color is Wicked. And it's really cool. You shake it up, you put it on, and then it's supposed to stay on for quite a while. Well, I didn't anticipate the stickiness that went with it. And I'm like, I don't like that. You know what? I'm going to be sitting here. I'm going to be trying to talk, and it's just going to be like my lips are going to be sticking together. And I just thought that was kind of weird. So in my mind, I'm like, great. You know what? Just wipe it off, Lonni. What can go wrong? Just get some toilet paper and wipe it off because I don't have tissues in my bathroom. So I went and I grabbed some and I go to wipe it off. And what happened, instead of wiping it off, I ended up with little pieces of paper all over my lips. And I'm like, this is awesome. You know what? I have on a new lip color that's sticky, and now I have toilet paper stuck to my lips. And I'm like, what am I going to do? So again, the way I think, I grabbed more, wiped everything off, and I'm like, okay, that will work. So then I'm stuck with this color that I wasn't really super thrilled about. And then I added my NYX fat oil on top of that. And then I got this, and now I'm okay. I got to tell you, nothing in my life goes easy, including putting on lipstick. But I will, without a doubt, give a round of applause for that really cool lip color that I've been wearing lately. And I get people asking me about it all the time, and I really do like it. But this is the MAC Love Me Liquid Lip Color. This is the one that I've been wearing. And this is the Been There Plum That. And it has the nice little applicator. So come Monday, I will be back to my regular color lips because that was quite the ordeal and a little traumatizing. And then I do want to let you know that I'm still using this e.l.f. Holy Hydration. Hello, Stacy. The How is your foot? Linda, much better. In fact, I'm wearing my Converse high tops today, and I've just been taking it really easy and taking some ibuprofen. And right now, my foot feels better than my knee. And last night I was like, I need to find something to put on my knee because it was kind of hurting. So I grabbed some Aquaphor and I put that on and it's fine. You know what? It's it's I bounce. So I'm good. So I did and I want to go back to this. I'm still using this Holy Hydration in the morning. After I put on my makeup, I take a little Q-tip. Again, I brought in my little gross little Q-tip thing to show you how much makeup I end up getting off. But I have been using this Holy Hydration eye cream. And, oh, hello. I do not want to pronounce your name wrong, but, okay. I don't want to be offensive, but is it Pooja? Is that how you pronounce your name? Because I want to say hello back, and she's from India, but I don't want to say your name wrong. So I have been going in and just cleaning up with this, and I am all about this. Ladies, if you have not tried this, it doesn't necessarily have to be this Holy Hydration eye cream, but just grab an eye cream, whichever one you like, and after you put your makeup on, get a Q-tip and go right underneath with your Q-tip with your eye cream. Clean it up and just give it a little bit more moisture because like I was saying earlier this week, my allergies are through the roof. I was having a lot of like puffiness and a lot of like creasing underneath my eyes. Oh yeah, awesome. I'm glad I said it right. Thank you so much and welcome. And this has helped so much just by going in and cleaning up and adding that little punch of moisture underneath my eyes because it goes from having where my makeup is like sitting in there to just having a nice smooth under eye. And that's what we all want. We want our makeup to be applied really well. And this is amazing. All right, we have Sandy. Hello, Lonni from Queens, New York. Lots of blessings. Sandy, I want to go to New York so bad. I have been fascinated with New York for so long. And if everything works out, I'm going to be there in October or November. But I have just this fascination with New York. And I think it's just the vibe, the hustle, the bustle, the history, just everything. So anytime, like, I am so just in awe that you get to be there. I'm all like, oh my gosh, Sandy's from New York. This is amazing. So I am over the moon about New York. Now, when I get there, I'm really hoping that I don't have like these, like where I'm all like, well, that was disappointing. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. I absolutely love San Francisco for the same reason. So I'm thinking I'm going to love New York just as much. All right. So what's going on in life? Gosh, all sorts of things. There was a new program, a new series that I wanted to start watching this weekend, and I'm telling you right now, for the life of me, I cannot remember what I wanted to start watching. So I also too, I can't remember what. Oh, I remember. I knew if I sat here and thought about it, It's really weird. It's like when you can't remember something, as soon as you stop thinking about it, you remember. So I knew if I talked about it, but I really wasn't trying to remember what it was, I was going to remember. So what I want to start watching this weekend is I'm a complete Marvel fan. I love the Marvel hero movies. I've watched a couple of the series on the Disney Channel. I think the only one that I really liked and I really got into was the one with Wanda, the WandaVision. I thought that was super interesting. It had a lot of plot twists and I really liked that one. But they have a new Marvel series out and I am all about that and I am going to start watching that. And then if I don't get into that one, I'm going to start the second Mandalorian because we all know that I have a huge crush on Pedro. So yes, he is my current reigning boy crush. There, I said it. I put it out into the universe. So Pedro, if you're out there and you're like, hey, I just need some, little spunky 58-year-old gal with a lot of tattoos, she's sitting right here. Yep, she's sitting right here. You into Star Wars, Lonni? Courtney, yeah, you know what? It's kind of a hit and a miss with me. And here's the thing about the Star Wars is, you know what? Being my age, I remember when the first 3 movies came out. You know what? It was so cool. It was so revolutionary. And to me, that's Star Wars. And then when it starts getting into like the whole, I don't know, like the whole prequel ones, I was like, this isn't Star Wars. I mean, it was just super cringy. I mean, to me, it was like, why is Natalie Portman going to be, he's a kid. I don't know. It was just super weird. So I never got into the prequels. And then I know that they had some afterwards. But to me, it's like, meh, that's not really Star Wars. So to answer your questions, yes, I am into Star Wars, but the first 3, which is actually the middle 3 if you put them all together. So, that got a little confusing. But I did like The Mandalorian. And I could sit there all day long and not even watch the show, but just listen to Pedro talk. Again, okay, so I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, I am having a hot flash for some reason. I don't know why, but I do know why. Lauren says Star Wars is all backwards, how they filmed everything. Yeah, you know what? And truthfully, it almost got to the point where it became more about like making a movie and just the revenue, which I get it. I mean, they make movies to make money. But it was, to me, it was like, just, I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. And then I was trying to figure out, like, on the last 3 was the whole thing where they're going to the island and they're trying to find Mark Hamill. I mean, was that Luke Skywalker's kids? I mean, I don't know. There was too many questions. I didn't even see the Ewan McGregor ones. No, to me, it was all about the cancel. And then they had like that Jar Jar Binks character, which I'm like, okay, maybe I just related a little bit too much to him because if I were going to be a Star Wars character, chances are I would be the Jar Jar Binks one because that's kind of my quirky personality. So I'm going to start that this weekend, and it is Father's Day this weekend. And I do want to touch on that because I have mixed emotions about Father's Day. I mean, I remember, my dad passed away and I miss my dad every single day. And so I think of like Father's Day in that aspect. And I'm like, gosh, you know what, Dad? I love you and I miss you. Then I think about Father's Day as far as the father of my children, and I have a completely different emotion. I have disdain and disgust. So I am completely torn between the 2 emotions for Father's Day. And yes, I get it. My ex-husband is not my father, and that's a completely different thing. But he is, he's who I chose to father my children. And it's just kind of like, it's just, again, I don't talk about him very often. I don't talk about him. Apparently, they just designed Jar Jar Binks to sell merchandise. Well, they didn't do a very good job because he was a really unpopular character. So I don't talk about my ex-husband very much because I did not have a very nice marriage. And but it's important, I think, an important message to share. I talk about him more in the context of my him being my ex-husband than I do him being my children's father, because I don't like to tell their story, because they're adults and they can tell their own story. And I never want to be like, oh, well, he did this to them and he did that to them, because it's their story to share. All right. So I have no connection. I have no communication, zero communication with him. And it's been that way for probably 10 years. And my children have zero communication with him. I mean, Robert hasn't spoken to him in probably the same amount of time, and Brandon probably about 7 years. So to me, on Father's Day, I try to always just concentrate on the good part of Father's Day, and that is my dad. So let me tell you a little bit about my dad. My dad was a complete bad beep. He was amazing. Now, my dad grew up in an orphanage. His mom passed away when he was 18 months old, and his father put all the kids into a Masonic home, basically an orphanage. And there were 4 brothers and 2 sisters. So there were 6 kids altogether. Now, the 2 daughters were old enough to be on their own, and I think my oldest uncle was also. But the 3 younger boys all got put into a home. Now, every time my grandfather on my dad's side, every time that he would get remarried, they would pull the boys out of the home. And then apparently he got divorced, and then they put him back in the home. And it was very traumatic for my dad. In fact, one time my grandfather got remarried. They grabbed the boys. My dad was home, but he did not realize that his new stepmother had unlived herself, and while he was home. So it was super traumatic for my dad. My dad had a super traumatic childhood. So he got out of that situation when he was 18. He met my mom when he was 17. They got married when he was 19. He went to war. He fought in the Korean War, came home, and he was my dad. And he taught me very early on a lot of good survival skills. He taught me how to be tough. He taught me how to defend myself. He taught me that you don't run away from a fight, and you have to stand up to bullies. And that is something that has always resonated in me. Now, my dad was not a super snuggly kind of dad. He was not one of those kinds where, you see on the TV where they're all like, oh, there's my little baby girl. But I know how much my dad loved me. I knew then how much he loved me. And I think one of the fondest memories of my dad is that he always set up shop in the garage. He always had his chair. He smoked since he was like 12, but he always had like his little smoking station out in the garage. And I would just sit out there for hours and talk to him and talk about life. And he would tell me about life, and I would tell him my problems, and he would give me his answers. So I do have very fond memories of my dad. Now, I still have my dad's smoking station in my garage. It's something that I have never taken apart. I have never gotten rid of. And every once in a while, if I want to get like really like, just like, oh, I remember, I just want to be like, have my dad's like energy. I'll just go out there and sit down. And I sit out there and I just talk to my dad. Even though he's not there to talk back to me, I still talk to him. And it's a really cool way for me to still stay connected with my dad. So on Sunday, I can't grab a beer because I don't drink anymore. But I'll go out there and I'll sit a little bit and I'll have a conversation with my dad and I'll tell him about life. And I already know how he would answer it. And I will wish him a happy Father's Day. So if you're out there and your dad is still alive, give him a hug, give him a kiss, tell him happy Father's Day. If if he's not still with you, then maybe just do something special. Maybe take like 5-10 minutes and just have a little conversation with him, and just, I don't know, just mentally give him a hug and a kiss. Now, I know that I'm always talking about like family and because my family is physically gone. But I also too know that sometimes there are situations and there are reasons why we uncommunicate with our family members even when they're alive. And I've thought a lot about that. And sometimes if you have toxic family members, it's really super important to distance yourself from that toxicity, I guess it is. That's what I'm trying to say. There's some words I just can't say. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I think it is, and I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say this, but sometimes I think it's almost more sad that if you have your loved one physically, okay. So no worries, Courtney. So I was thinking, like, if you are having, like, if you discommunicate with a family member, I think that would almost be harder than if you actually physically lost your family. Because one, you have to make that conscientious choice, and the other one, it is just something that happens. So yeah, my heart goes out to you too. If you're out there and you've discommunicated from your family, my heart goes out to you also, and I hope that you have a good day on Sunday. So there you go. No more sad stuff. And I don't look at things like this like it's sad. I know that death is a part of life. It's just the way it is. And I had a really good dad for a lot of years, and I'm very thankful for that. And from that, I shall go forward. Now, I have a lot of things planned this weekend besides watching a new series. I'm going to be out filming, and I'm going to go 2 places and film. I'm going to film at Ross. I don't have very much luck at Ross, so I'm super excited to see what they have and if I can put together like a cute outfit. I mean, I know that their prices are low, but what's your opinion of Ross? I mean, do you shop there? Do you have good luck? I mean, do you think that, I don't know. I've just never had like that warm, fuzzy feeling when it comes to Ross. Not that if I find something there and it's cute, you know what, I'm definitely going to get it. And I have found some amazing coats there, but as far as like, everyday stuff, I don't know. I just have, like I said, I have not had the best luck. So I'm going to be going to Ross Dress for Less, and I am going to see if I can find something that resonates with me. And of course, I am bringing you with me. Now, another thing I'm going to be doing is that right next door to Ross, tomorrow, they have like a cute farmer's market. And a lot of times I go, and I go shopping at the stores and in the malls and the stuff like that. I want to, go check out smaller things too. And I'm curious to see if they have like any maybe locally made clothing, like a local company there. So I'm going to be doing the farmer's market on Saturday. Now, another thing, and I really want your opinion on this, is I've been thinking about, because I've gone to H&M and I've done like little shopping videos at H&M where I show you, Tiki says, our Ross is such a mess in there. You know what, sweetheart? I don't think mine's going to be much better. Sometimes it just looks like there's been a whirlwind, but it's early in the morning. It's going to be like 10:30. So hopefully it will be all put together. But I have done some shopping videos where, I've gone in and I've just showed you all the stuff that H&M has. Well, I was thinking that what I'm going to do is I'm going to like pick out some of those dresses that are absolutely, they look like, I don't know, they look like almost like a combination of a prairie dress and a clown outfit. I mean, they're big, they're bulky, and I want to see if they're cute on. And I want to see, like, if you take one of those and it's not cute, if you add a little belt, would that be better? Or like a harness? I mean, can you make those items cute? So I was thinking that I'm going to be doing a video like that also, because while I love shopping and I love showing you stuff they have, I also like giving myself a little bit of a challenge. So I thought that that might be a fun challenge. And so we're going to be doing something like that, because I've done free people stuff. Oh, also too, and I mentioned this yesterday, I am working on putting together like a list, almost like a page on Amazon for all the free people dupes that I'm finding that I'm getting. And I didn't realize this. I tried to do it yesterday because I wanted to share it with you yesterday. But what I didn't realize is that they had to approve my page or my list idea, which is something different for me. I'm like, I don't know, maybe they wouldn't like the wording or something. So I'm waiting for that list idea to be approved, and then I'm going to share it with you, because truthfully, I was really surprised. You know, that new overall that I got, the high roller jumpsuit, the one that has the like the higher front and then the lower back. Well, I'm telling you right now, I found a one that looks just like it. See, now Amazon doesn't like it when I say the word DUPE. If I spell it, maybe they won't catch me, but they don't like it when I say that. So I'm having to come up with a different way of telling you what it is that I am talking about. So I'm saying free people vibe or free people like, without actually saying that other word, because yes, they emailed me and they very nicely asked me to change my verbiage on some videos, and if I wanted to stay in the program. So I'm like, yes, I want to stay in the program. And I went back and I changed the wording. So getting back to what I found that that high roller jumpsuit, that high roller overall. And it was just about half the price as it was on Free People. Now, another thing I found that I'm super excited about, and I have it in my cart, is remember Free People look-alike? Yeah, you know what, Lauren? I'm thinking something like that. You know, because I want to come across as to what it is that I'm trying to find for us without, again, getting in trouble. So I found that, and then I found the Hot Shot little dress. Remember the one that I bought that was, let me see if I can find it. That was, I got it in blue, and then I exchanged it for black, and then I sent it back because it was $60. Let me see if I can't find it here. And what I found is I found it on Amazon. It looks just like it. And hold on, let me show this to you. And it is, or lookalikes, or lookalikes of Free People. It's going to have to be something like that. But this is the dress that's in my cart. Looks just like it. But the price tag is $19. And I am like, done. So I'm getting that. And it's like, that's just the thing. It's like, I like Free People because I like the vibe. I like the style. I like the comfortability and everything it says. And if I can find something that has that same vibe, that makes me feel just the same, I'm okay if you can't see the tag. I mean, for example, my little t-shirt, there's no way that you would know that this is a Free People t-shirt unless you pull up my shirt and look at my tag. And so if I can find something that has that same sort of vibe that is affordable for everyone, I'm going to share it with you because I don't think fashion should be exclusive to people that have a huge disposable income. And but I don't too also I don't want to share something with you that's not good or not a good quality. So I'm on a mission. If you haven't figured it out, I'm on a mission to find you the best things possible in the as affordable as possible. So those are a couple of the things I found. I found that Hot Shot little mini dress. It has the built-in shorts just like the other one. I found the high roller jumper. Looks exactly like it. What else did I find? I found a Hot Shot jumper that looks just like it, and then a couple of jackets. So, like I said, I'll share this with you. I'll put a post up and I'll give you the link. And if you want to check any of it out, you absolutely can. And it will be coming to you soon. There you go. I put it as Free People vibes. And, but if they approve it, that's what it's going to be. Yay, Courtney's back. She was having technical problems, but she's back. So that's it for my weekend, you know. Lauren says, bye, finish work, love you. Thank you, Lauren. Have a great weekend and love you too. So what else do we got going on? You know what? I haven't had very many rude comments lately, so that is absolutely awesome. I still was getting I don't know. I am still on a mission, of course, to spread the word that you can wear whatever you want at any age because that's what I do. That's what I'm here for. You know, I am absolutely 100% here for that. Now, when I was, because I always go live on TikTok for a little bit before I come live over here, and I was talking about my my hair and about how I'm never going to, you know what? I never want to be like, you need to buzz your hair. But what I always try to do is I always try to encourage you to find what you're supposed to look like and absolutely look like that. Now, I want to demonstrate how you do that. All right. So if you're out there and you're struggling with your self-confidence or your own self-image, or you don't know what your style is, or you don't know where to begin, we're going to do that right now. All right. So everybody, what I want you to do is, it doesn't have to be right at this moment, and it doesn't have to be even today. But what I want you to do is I want you to take a moment sometime over the weekend, and I want you just to sit down in a quiet place and close your eyes. All right. I want you just to close your eyes, and I want you to just visualize with your eyes closed, not looking into a mirror, but with your eyes closed, visualize what you look like. Visualize not so much your who you are today, but that what you visualize yourself of what you want to look like. For example, what I always used to do is I always used to just sit there and I would visualize what I would look like with my hair buzzed. And I knew that my hairstyle wasn't matching my energy. And I knew that my hairstyle wasn't matching who I saw myself on the inside. And that's why I decided to buzz my hair, because this is how I see myself. When I close my eyes, I see myself with a spunky style, with lots of tattoos, buzzed hair, bright lips, bright makeup. And this is how I visualize me at this moment. And I let that out. I let my fashion be, fun and free and all of that, because that's what I visualize myself as. So as you're sitting there, if you visualize yourself with like, I don't know, like maybe a little bit more of a freer style where you're wearing band t-shirts and ripped jeans and Converse, but you find yourself holding yourself back because you don't want to hear those comments from the people around you that you're dressing too young. At that point, you need to make a conscientious decision as to who you're going to listen to. Are you going to listen to your inner mind, your inner voice, your inner vision? Or are you going to listen to the people who might be having negative comments to you about the way that you want to dress? All right. So see what it is that you look like and let that person out. Now, Susan Roberts says, your haircut definitely fits your style and personality. Yes. And I knew that something was wrong. All right. I knew for a very long time that my hair wasn't matching my inner self. And I'm going to show you the picture I found because I want you to see this. And it's like there was nothing wrong with my haircut. My haircut was great. Tiki says, my husband says, oh, there she is, the chick who inspired you to shave your head. Well, hello. If your husband is there, say hello. I am the one that inspired you. So, and hello. That's too funny. Yes, I am. And I'm very happy to be that because I'm going to show you what I looked like before. And again, there was absolutely nothing wrong with this haircut. It just wasn't me. And I want to find you the haircut that I showed earlier. And it's so, okay. Oops, I can't show you that because that doesn't show my hair. Oh, here you go. This. All right, can you see that? That's what my hair was. And it's not a bad haircut, all right? There's nothing about that haircut that says, this is a horrible haircut. It just wasn't me, all right? I have some really weird pictures on here and I have to show you. It's like I get the weirdest expressions. Tiggy says, I love my hair longer, but I can't leave it alone and it's never healthy. Pamela's here. Hello, Pamela. So that's just the thing. It's like, it wasn't me. I like your hair better now. You know what? So do I. And I get all sorts of comments, and it's fine because it is a little bit of a shocking hairstyle, but it matches me, and it is so weird how when I cut it, I looked at myself. The barber turned me around in her chair, and I'm like, wow, there she is. You know what? She finally showed up to the party, and my confidence level went through the roof because all of a sudden I was no longer trying to like blend in because I didn't want anybody to see my Q-tip haircut. Linda says, I like your hair better now. Tiggy says, I have naturally curly hair. It's beautiful, but so much work. See, Tiggy, my hair was a really weird combination of, it was wavy, but not curly. So had I had really like authentic curly hair like my sister had, I probably would have been, I probably would have liked it more. But my hair, like the first day that I would go from straightening it, I would straighten my hair and then I'd be like, I'm gonna let my hair go curly today. First day, it was like amazing. I had these really great curls and I'm like, oh my gosh, Lonni, why don't you just let your hair go curly every day? Why are you not embracing your curls? And I'd be like, I don't know. I should be embracing my curls. These are amazing. On the second day, it would be like the curls would be like, see ya. Okay, it was fun hanging out with you for a day, but I am leaving. And what was left were just these crazy like waves that my hair looked super dry and it had no style. So let me see if I can't find one of those because see now here, Okay, this is what I'm talking about. All right. Now it's cute, but look at this, like right here. This is like all, it looks like barbed wire. And it's crazy how, okay, so here's another one. And had it have been just a little bit curlier, it would have been manageable curls because there you go. Look how cute. I look like a little like a little model there. So yeah, no, and it was fun, but it just my hair just did the weirdest things. There's Liberty. If you all been following me for a while, this is Liberty. She is the pit bull that I had before I got Indy, and I lost her about 13, 14 months ago. And speaking of Indy, she just showed up. All right, Susan says, I wear an undercut pixie and my husband always wants me to grow it out. I tell him if you want to get up at 4 a.m. and do my hair before work, then sure. Not. Oh, gosh. It is like, okay, going back to the subject of my ex-husband, I remember when I was pregnant with Brandon and I was just struggling. I was struggling with so many things in my life. I wanted not the fact that I was having Brandon, but just in my marriage in general. And I remember I cut my own hair and I cut it really short because I've always liked short hair. And he was at work and I cut it myself, cut it really short. And then I like dyed it some crazy color or something like that. And he came home from work and he took one look at me and goes, why are you doing that to me? And I'm like, why am I doing what? He's like, why are you making yourself ugly? Why are you punishing me? And I'm like, this has nothing to do with your hair, with you. This is everything about me. But I had one of those husbands where it's like, no matter what I did, he always made it about him, and he always made me feel bad about myself. So whenever and Pamela, I'm sure or Susan, I am sure your husband is nothing like this, but when I do get some women reaching out to me and they're like, I would love to have my hair a certain way, but my husband says no, and I won't do it, and my heart always goes out to them because I know what it's like to be in a relationship where you're just basically you're fighting for survival of your mental health. And the last thing you can do is you don't have any extra energy to fight over a hairstyle. So whenever I hear comments like that, again, I'm not going to judge. I'm just going to give you my love and my love and all of that because I know what it's like to be in that relationship. Linda says, weird, I did the same thing, cropped my hair, and my ex hated it. Yeah, but Linda, your ex and my ex are a lot alike. So, and it was the same thing with my tattoo. I got a tattoo when we separated because we separated, I think, twice before I actually left. And I got a tattoo in one of those separations. And oh my gosh, I just gave him extra fuel to put me down. And I got to the point where I'm like, I can only pick one thing. I can either pick my tattoo or my husband, and I'm picking my tattoo. And it was the best decision I ever made. Pamela says, I'm glad he's your ex. I'm glad he's my ex too. And I am 100% okay with that. Tiggy says, I always ask him what he thinks, but I see how he looks right now, so he needs to mind his own business. You know what? And that's the thing. That's a different thing. I mean, if you go up to your partner and you're like, I just did this to my hair. What do you think? I mean, I think they have the right to be like, it's not my cup of tea, but if you like it, I like it. To me, I think that that's a healthy response. You know, and if they're all like, if you don't even ask their opinion and they're like, you look horrible, you look terrible, you, that's like a huge difference. And Tiggy, I'm sure your husband knows when to be like, oh, honey, you do whatever you want. So, and that's perfectly. Kara says, I cannot believe you picked him in the first place. You know what, Kara? The whole thing is like, I was 16 when I started dating him. And it was one of those things where um, I, I just didn't have the self-esteem to, fight that. And also too, you have to understand, I've done a lot of research on this, and narcissist picks certain types of people. And what they do is they have a tendency to pick the type of people that are sensitive, because I'm very sensitive to other people's feelings, that they have past trauma, which I had a very traumatic childhood, and then they pick somebody with a low self-esteem. So I checked off all the boxes to be the perfect spouse for a narcissist. And I also, too, I was under the opinion that I could love him and he would change. So the meaner he was to me, the more I felt like the more I loved him, the nicer he'll be. So I was in this complete like circle of just dysfunction, I guess you could say. So it wasn't until I was so broken down that, truthfully, it wasn't even me. I didn't leave because of me. I left for Robert and Brandon because I felt that they would have a better chance with just the three of us than staying there. So being who I am now, I am no longer primed for a narcissist relationship. But back then when I was younger, absolutely. I checked all the boxes for somebody like that to be in a relationship with. Susan says, I agree with all ladies. I don't even ask if he likes my hair. When I get it done, I'm going to wear it however I please. Absolutely. And that's just the whole thing. And again, it's like we kind of have, not only do we have like our husbands who, I'm sure that they have certain like ways that they find you like they like or whatever, whether they like your hair or not. But again, we have this whole thing about society where women are judged by their hair. Now, have you ever noticed, and this is an interesting thing, but have you ever noticed like after a big breakup, like if you get divorced or you break up from your boyfriend or girlfriend, and the first thing you want to do is chop off all your hair? Have you ever noticed that? And to me, it is a form of just taking back your power. When you go from like, you know what, I'm breaking up in this relationship is no longer going to happen. You feel almost like you have no control. And the one thing that you do have control over is the way that you see yourself in the mirror. And the fastest way to change that is with your hair. So I was talking to my barber one time and he's like, yeah, he goes, if I have a client who I know is going through a divorce or a breakup and they come in and they are like, I chop off all my hair. He's like, I'll be like, no, we're going to do it on the next appointment. Because a lot of times what happens is that once it's all chopped off, there's like a remorse. So I am 100% guilty of that. I mean, I did that all the time. Whenever I felt like my life was spiraling out of control and I didn't have my grip on, just being in control of my life, first thing that went was my hair. And then what would happen is I would be bummed. I'd be like, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. Now I like myself even less. And when I was cutting my hair back then, it was for the wrong reasons. Pamela says, totally for me, I often cut my hair when I'm stressed. It's like a weird way to feel in control. Absolutely. And it's the fastest and easiest way to get that control. So and like I said, I did the same thing. I did it to where, if I was like in a really dark spot in my marriage or even when I was divorced, first thing that went was my hair. And so do I still do that today? No, I don't think I do that as much today. For one thing, I can't get much shorter with my hair. But I also think that I'm more aware of my emotions and my feelings and all of that today than I was when I was younger, or even when I was going through my divorce, or even when I was drinking. So I try to catch those feelings before they get to that point where I feel like I'm so out of control that I have to do something about it. Now, when I get to that point where I'm feeling a little like where I'm not in control, first thing I do is I walk into my bedroom, I look in my closet, and I see what sort of shape my closet is in. And I'm telling you right now, oh, I have such a pretty bird in my backyard. It was brown and it had really pretty blue on its wings. Oh, that was nice. So if I feel like I'm out of control or something like that, I go straight to my closet. If my closet is a mess, if I have things on the floor, yes, I have things on the floor. If I have like things just not on hangers, or if I got a pair of shoes out of a box and I haven't put them back, then I will instantly be like, you know what? Take 20 minutes, clean your closet. And when I do, when I just take that time and I'm kind of in there, I usually have music going. I'll have my coffee or my diet cranberry juice. And I just give myself that 15, 20, 30 minutes just to kind of put things into order. And as I'm putting things into order, I'm kind of just letting my brain reset. And I find that that's a really cool way to get myself to that point where I am not that manic, kind of like, oh my gosh, I need an instant feeling of I'm in control of my body. And I think that that's truthfully, that's why I started getting tattooed. I started getting tattooed because I was so out of control over my destiny, my feelings, the people in my life. I had zero control over any of that, that I felt instantly like, wow, this is my body, this is my life. I can do what I want. And I tell you what, getting that first tattoo was amazing, and it put me on a journey to where I am today. I mean, is that why I've gotten other tattoos since? No, I've gotten other tattoos for a lot of different reasons, but the first one was definitely that. And if you're out there and you are under the feeling of like, I need to have that sort of like that sense of control taken back, and you choose to get a tattoo, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to tell you not to do it, but I am going to tell you to pick something that is going to remind you of this moment where you took back your self-control, and put it someplace to where if you want to see it on a daily basis, put it like on your arm, and then use that as a, like, kind of like as a beacon to remember where you were and where you're going to go. If you want to keep it more on a personal thing, maybe put it in more of an intimate spot to where it's only for you. See, and I say that because I have certain tattoos that remind me of certain things. And I've got this little bear claw right here. And sometimes I'll just kind of take a look at it, and I kind of touch it, feel it, and that it kind of like brings me back to where I'm at. And you can use your tattoos in the exact same way. So if you're out there and you need control, and your closet cleanup hasn't helped, your haircut hasn't helped, and you choose to get a tattoo, I say get something small and intimate and put it in a place that you either, one, can see daily for motivation, or two, that you want to keep it personal. Pamela says, I agree with all the ladies. I don't even, I agree with all the ladies. I don't even ask if he likes my hair when I get it done. I'm going to wear it however I please. Cool. Yeah. And that's just the way it should be, because you know what? It's like, I don't know. I mean, it's been, Pamela says that's great advice. Well, thank you. I do appreciate that. And you know what? And I have had such a lumpy, bumpy life that if I can't learn from my experiences and share them with you, then you know what? Then they're just like, I don't know. I just feel like we all share experiences, but sometimes I think we're really timid on sharing them because we think we're the only ones, and we're not. You know what? And that's what's really cool about this platform is that we have such a great like-minded group of people here that I think that we all benefit from each other's experiences, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And by me sharing my thoughts and everything like that is just it's something that is that it's not a journey that only I am not the only one having these experiences, and I'm not the only one who's had stuff happen to them. But it's I guess maybe it's because I'm so totally okay sharing every aspect, good, bad, or indifferent. And and the reason that I'm okay with that, and people ask me this all the time, they're like, why are you so okay sharing your experiences? And it's because when I was drinking, when I was an alcoholic, I hid everything about my life. Everything about my life was a secret. My drinking was a secret. My thoughts were a secret. I was a secret. Everything, the majority of my energy was spent in hiding my alcoholism. And that's where I put all of my energy because you know what? I didn't want to admit it myself. I didn't want anybody to know. And I mean, you only took one look at me in the mornings when my hands were shaking because I was going through withdrawals to figure it out. But I hid in the shadows. And now that I'm sober, it is to me so easy for me to be transparent because I am the complete opposite of the way I was. So to me, if I have to hide an aspect of my life, it means that I'm hiding and it reminds me of my drinking. So it's very therapeutic for me to be transparent. And that's why it's so easy for me to do it because I can look at myself and I can be like, hey, you know what? I got nothing to hide. And if I have nothing to hide, then I'm not going to slip back into that sort of pattern of drinking again. So it's very therapeutic for me, and I like to share it. Kara says we had such similar experiences growing up being in the same family. Yes, you know what? And that's just the whole thing, Kara. I don't know if you were on when I kind of told the story of our dads about how they had a really rough childhood. You know, there was nothing easy about our dad's childhood. And it took me a long time to realize that my dad did the best he could. That was all he could do. And one of my favorite sayings that I came up with that was really super healing for me is that I didn't understand my parents as a child, but I have chosen to forgive them as an adult. All right. I didn't understand why anything was happening when I was a kid because I was a kid. All right. I didn't know why my dad was angry. You know, I didn't know why my mom did things that she did. I was a kid. I wasn't supposed to have to figure things out like that. But as an adult, I can stop and I can look back. Are you leaving, Brandon? No, we're back. Okay. Yeah. And I, as an adult, I have the option to look at it with the eyes of an adult and be like, I understand your pain and I'm going to forgive you for that. Kara, your comment caught me off guard, but Kara's comment was, my dad took care of your dad in the orphanage. And yeah, you know what? Because I don't remember, Kara, I don't remember how much older your dad was than mine. But I know that my dad was the youngest, and Aunt Sally was the oldest, and was Helen or Sally older? But the sisters were like in their 20s when my dad was born. So there was a huge age gap between the first children and my dad and Kara's dad. So, and it just, again, it's all about healing. And we as adults have the absolute control. 2 years. Okay. But we as adults have the control whether or not we want to take the emotions out of it. And Helen was the oldest. Okay. I thought so. See, Kara knows all the family history. I'm just like, there were people, but Kara has absolutely researched all of this. So I don't know how I got off on this subject, but it is always an interesting one. But what I have done lately, and Kara, I don't know if you can relate to this or not, but what I have done here lately is I have determined that I have two different sets of trauma. All right. I have childhood trauma and then I have adult trauma. All right. Childhood trauma, I had nothing about. I had no control over the situation in which I was born in. Adult trauma, I have all the control over. All right. I'm the one that picked up the beer. I'm the one that drank herself silly. I have control over this. So by me being able to determine the two different traumas has been extremely healing. And what I mean that by is like if I get triggered in my adult life, what I have stopped doing is having it roll over into my childhood trauma. So if somebody says something to me that hurts my feelings, instead of going instantly to like, oh my gosh, you know what? I am the invisible child. Nobody sees me. All this pain, blah, blah, blah. I can sit there as an adult and be like, okay, you know what? Your words hurt. I am going to let you know your words hurt me. And I'm also too going to say, you know what? That's not allowed. I can I can handle adult trauma as an adult. I don't have to run back to my childhood trauma each and every time, get my feelings hurt, and get triggered all over again. So for me, that has been probably one of the biggest healing kind of processing things that I have gone through lately. And it's something that I'm really working on. And it's been really great for me in my relationship, especially with Robert and Brandon, because I wasn't reacting to them as a parent. I was reacting to them as a hurt child. And they are not responsible for my childhood trauma. The only responsibility that they have to me is to be my children. So for me, again, really just sitting there and seeing today for today and not always just going back to the pain of yesterday has helped me heal me today to where I can go in and I can check my closet. I can clean it up. I can sit there. I can cut off all my hair and get tattoos because I want to, not because I'm triggered and trying to get control. H2 Beats. Hello there, sweetie. Well, hello there, H2 Beats. So you caught me right at the end of my live. We have been talking for an hour. Well, I've been talking for an hour and we have had some great conversations. And again, you know, I just really want to reiterate that my friend Caleb is, my friend Caleb is mid come down. Any advice? You know what, truthfully, if you are trying to be there for your friend during any sort of addiction, the only thing I can let you know is you just have to be a steady rock. And by that I mean you can't vary your support with their addiction. All right? It's like you're there and you're there to help them. Because I know myself, it's like I'm trying to have an example that I can put together for that. Because I'm trying, let me guess, grad one at barbershop. I'm just enjoying reconnecting with you and healing for me too. Well, Kara, that's really cool because like I said, okay. No worries. No worry, Courtney. I'm going to be jumping off here pretty soon anyway. Kara, yes, it has been very cool. And you know what? And truthfully, you're the only relative that I actually talk to. H2B says, I'm a pro druggie. Well, you know what? Then my advice to you is that life is much happier, sober than any other way. You know, and I used to, my crown and my glory is that I could outdrink anybody and I could drink a lot. And to me, that was my badge of honor. And I realized that it wasn't a badge of honor. It was actually what was holding me back the most. What I thought was my biggest strength was my biggest weakness. So I will let you know right now that whatever form or version you are, sobriety is 100 times better. That is just, and I stand by that statement, 100%. Kara, it has been amazing, and you know what? And I 100% agree with you. Sobriety is the superpower. Absolutely, it is. You know what? And that's just the whole thing. It's like I have walked through the depths of addiction, and it is ugly, and it is sad, and it is just, it's like watching a horror film and actually living it day to day. What's your favorite drink? Well, what I used to drink was Coors Light, and I drank a 24 pack a day. So not only did I drink, but I drank an obscene. No, you know what? H2 beats that. That's not what this channel's all about. So I appreciate it, but no. So yeah, no, I drank an obscene amount of alcohol. So I will, on that note, say that it has been an amazing live. I love you all dearly. Remember, it is Father's Day on Sunday. Please give your dad a hug and a kiss from me. Tell him that you love him. If your dad is gone like mine, then just take a moment and reflect on them and spend a little time with them in your heart, but still tell them you love them, tell them you miss them. I will be back Monday. On Monday, I'm going to be cooking again. I think I'm not too sure, but I think I'm going to cook that cottage cheese bread, which is absolutely something that I didn't know I would be making because I didn't know it was a thing. So next week we have baking on Monday. Tuesday is Tattoo Tuesday. And I'm going to be talking, thank you, sweetheart. I am going to be talking about tattoos on Wednesday. I might buzz my hair on Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure because I'm going to San Francisco on the 27th. So I'm not too sure if I am going to buzz my hair or let it get a little bit longer and then do it in San Francisco. On Thursday, I'm hoping to have my stuff from Amazon, my Free People Like stuff. So I'm hoping to have that. And then Friday, we'll be back for more, just hanging out and having a conversation on Friday. So until then, remember, be bright people, be brave. I love you all dearly. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all on Monday. Bye.